Gothic Remake is a tough game that doesn't pull its punches. But you don't have to stay a nameless, penniless and powerless nobody for long. Let's grab some huge upgrades in Chapter 1, including some of the best items in the game. Note that this is not a full walkthrough, but a focus on getting the best items and the required skills, avoiding spoilers as much as possible, and presented in somewhat logical order. Let's go! Keep an eye out for a hangman on the right side of the path. Grab and equip the old sword found underneath. Your first weapon! At the old camp, mention Diego to the guards to save your money, then find Thoros. Keep talking until he tasks you with getting rid of Mordrag. Do whatever missions you can until night falls. Now let's backtrack the way you came, all the way back to the exchange zone. What we're going to do now is much easier at night. Both guards should sit and chat, making it easier to sneak inside the house and loot the chest. General rule: don't loot the key if you want to maximize XP, only loot it to save time. Nearby is a locked storage shed. Pick the lock for a bit of XP or use the key. Inside is a short bow and some arrows. Dive into the lake for some junk and be sure to grab the King's Tide plants. We urgently need 5 of those soon, so keep an eye out for them whenever you dive. Head back towards the old camp, but just before the bridge, hang left and go around the big rock. Dive, cave inside, loot chest for Rider's bow. Head to the southern outer ring, make your way across this roof, climb in and down to grab the Morningstar Mace. Talk to Mordrag near the south gate. Tell him that Thoros wants him gone and agree to go to the new camp. Follow him out of the gate, but keep going straight to a Molerat cave. Mordrag will stop and wait for you, so pull the Molerats towards him. He will help you kill them. Inside the cave, loot the corpse for the Amulet of the Dead Guard, a very useful defensive amulet that grants +5 edge and +5 blunt resistance, and pick up the Withered Axe, a slight weapon upgrade. Sly wants the amulet for a quest. Just delay the quest turn-in until we get better neck items later, or turn it in and beat him up to take it right back. He also drops a hunting bow, and if you beat him up privately, he stays friendly. Close to the cave is a Belia statue with a permanent +5 HP Essence of Life potion. Remember the location of Cavalorn's hut for later. If you gave Mordrag enough opportunities to fight on the way, he will be almost dead by the time you reach the new camp, so just give him the shoot and loot treatment when the camp is in view. Nice longbow and sting mace, thank you! Keep following him as he limps home until he stops again to thank you with a ring. That guy likes it rough. Must be friends with Sly. Equip Mordrag's ring for +5 dexterity. Now you can use the Rider's bow. Steal a book, Beasts of Khorinis, Volume 1, Scavengers, from Jan's nearby hut. Read it and then return to Cavalorn's hut. Steal the leather strips from inside. Behind the house is a cave. Inside is another short bow and a ring of wooden skin. Talk to Cavalorn about the book. Up the hill across from Cavalorn's cabin is Kozel's cozy crib. He keeps a tamed scavenger mount and a friendly wolf called Dandy. Keep pestering him about his scavenger mount until he finally gives up and agrees to help you get one. You need 5 King's Tide found growing underwater, +3 wolf hides and 2 leather strips. You can get those from Cavalorn's place. Once you've turned everything in, it takes exactly 1 day to craft your whistle. Check the inventory screen to find out what day and time it is. If you follow this guide, you should have all the needed items by now, but if not, make obtaining them your #1 priority and get them out early. It saves you a load of time and pain and even makes getting some high-level gear possible. Just be aware that your mount will not enter settlements, and you can't call it in combat. It can jump, fall, and even swim. Calling it is usually not instant, and it can get lost in pathing. Relocate and call again if it doesn't appear. Before we get to the new camp, we need to quickly talk about required skills and the best order to get them, and how to get maps. You probably have some learning points now, and navigating without a map is a nightmare. Let's start with skills. Here's what you need to get, and in what order. Start with 1 level of lockpicking. Early on, your dirt poor fighting is a pain, and there are many locked chests and doors which, apart from the loot, also give XP now, taught by fingers at the old camp and Wedge at the new camp. Next is 1 level of one-handed weapon. Greatly improves your fighting prowess. Scatty at the old camp and Cord at the new camp will teach you. Increase strength to match your weapon requirements. Diego at the old camp and Laris at the new one train strength and dexterity. Alternatively, if you prefer to use ranged weapons and dexterity, Cavalorn and Wolf at the new camp teach bow skill. Next you need novice magic skill. Torres at the old camp will teach you. Pick healing rune as your reward. Finally, you need acrobatics from Buster at the new camp and climbing from Theron at the swamp camp. Well, acrobatics is actually optional, but it's very useful, so just get it. Regarding maps, you can get several for free by beating up Graham at the old camp. Do it at night, sneak inside his hut and bop him, then loot him. This should be doable once you have a couple levels and 1 point in your weapon skill. Buy the new camp map from Kronos at the new camp. To get the swamp camp map, you must first impress Baal Kadar. Just follow this guide and you'll have what it takes. Onward to the new camp. Swim across the water right inside the camp to get Lurker's bite from the chest. Visit Laris at night to steal his 5 HP Essence of Life potion and pick his chest for a +5 strength Ring of Power that lets you equip your new sword without spending valuable LP. Next we go to the new mine. Just before the mine and off to one side is another Belios statue with a permanent +5 HP Essence of Life potion. At the mine, talk to Swiney to finally get your first armor for free. Find Okil loading it over the mine. Talk to him, then punch him from behind. Head down to assist him by kindly carrying his stuff, including Warrior's Voice, one of the best two-handed axes in the entire game, and a longbow. You also get the Gravity Kills achievement and, best of all, no one bats an eye or attacks you. Just behind where we just helped Okil along is a tunnel. Follow it for a Ring of Life that increases health by 30. You may have run into Horatio in the rice fields before, but he refused to train you. Talk to Jeremiah at the Bandit Tavern on the lake and ask him about Horatio. That gives you the argument you need to convince Horatio to give you 5 strength training. Free! Several minutes later, back at the old camp, you're still not allowed to enter the inner castle. What say you? Let's go inside anyway and have a peek. Just run inside, make sure you don't get turned around when the guard hears you. Hang a left to avoid being shot by the pursuing guards while avoiding the other people because everyone is really out to get you. It's true. Head to this corner, don't use a ladder, just jump up and head into the tower and down. Use the torch to open the door. Get the water sword. Just open chests, loot stuff. The usual. You also find 2 Essence of Spirit, each adds 2 mana, and a Ring of Purification that gives resistance to all types of magic. Exit the ruined house here or backtrack into the tower to pick and loot the dozen or so chests in the upper floor bunk room. If you're in a funny mood, try running back out the way you came. It just works. There's a small cave just inside the Orc Enclave, right past the 2 guards and hang a left. At the end of the cave you find 3 sleep scrolls that come in handy for the swamp camp, as well as a sting mace. Next we're headed to the swamp camp. Baal Parvis will happily lead us there. On the way, after crossing a wooden bridge, there's a large tree on your left and a large cave below. Save, then equip your torch and sneak inside. Your goal is a corpse straight ahead, all the way through the cave. This is truly a matter of luck, as the Shadow Beast will move about and pause completely randomly. Depending on your luck, this may take 1 try or 20, but worth it for the extra 100 health from that Amulet of Life Force. Do what you have to at the swamp camp, then head to the Ocean Beach area on the eastern edge. Learn climbing from Theron, then swim north around the cliffs to find a dock. Field bow is lying on a table. Dive into the pool at the base of this staircase, swim to the red plants and climb up to get the Judgment Sword. Swim a little further to find a beach shipwreck guarded by 4 fire lizards. Maybe it's possible to pick that lock with 1 point trained in lockpicking. I'll never find out. Fortunately, there's a key. Get on the wreck and jump across to climb the wall. Make your way up and right across to the goblin camp. Take care of them. The bad news, there's a juvenile troll in the last room of this cave. The good news, we can sneak past on the left side. Pick this chest for the key. Exit the cave. Mind the current. If you hug the left, you can climb out and don't have to waste time swimming all the way back. Call your Scavenger and ride back down to the shipwreck to loot the Armor Amulet, the best damage resistance neck item in the game. Pick up the longsword here and don't miss the permanent +2 strength extract of strength potion behind the door. Now we need to prepare for the mountain fortress to get the good stuff. We're really not supposed to go there for another few chapters. Will be fun. Bring some healing items and mana restoring items. No need to upgrade your mana pool, just use those permanent mana potions you've picked up from the castle heist. Buy at least 1 transform into Bloodfly scroll. It's cheapest from Kronos at the new camp. If you don't have the Firebolt rune yet, you can either buy it from Taurus or, my preference, beat him up. This one is a bit tricky. You need to catch him on his way to the market in the morning without a witness, or else the whole camp goes aggro on you and stays aggro. This is the spot. If he still talks to you when he gets back up, you're good. As you can see, you also get light and even fireball runes and a key. Nice if you want to become a full mage later. Now you're all set. From the old camp, we're heading towards the swamp camp, but then veer south and up. Just right past the golem and the harpies on the path. Run inside, then immediately go left and down. There are 2 chests in the locked cells. The cell key is guarded by a couple tough skeletons that will probably one-shot you, so we pick the locks instead. The left chest holds the Hedge bow, the right one the Amulet of Magic. Equip the amulet, then restore mana. Return to the ground floor, then run across and up the stairs, dodging the harpies. Acrobatics skill will make it easier to roll out of the way. Keep going until you reach the library. Look at this painting to get the puzzle solution. Use the books in order: Swampshark, Wolf, and Molerat as depicted. The secret door opens. Keep going up. The climbing portion is where we finally have to start killing harpies. Melee isn't so good for them, but range works if you went that path. Our Firebolt rune is best and by far fastest. Take them out, try to lure one at a time, restore mana as needed. After clearing the 3 top room harpies and any others that joined from below, pick the chest. With 1 point of training in lockpicking, the combination is as follows. Blade number 1, left 2 times. Number 4, right 2 times. Number 5, left 2 times. Number 6, left 3 times. Number 2, right 6 times. Number 6, left 6 times. Number 3, left 4 times. Number 4, right 5 times. Number 5, left 2 times. Number 6, left 4 times. And number 2, once to the right. Loot the Sword of Victory, the Ring of Enlightenment that gives 30 health and 20 mana, the powerful Stormfist rune, and most importantly, a key. Make your way down to the bedroom. This chest is special as it has one of very few unpickable locks in the game. Loot the Royal Guard armor. Behold, your looks just went from beggar to prince. And your resistances, they just skipped several game chapters ahead. They're taking tea and crumpets waiting for the game to catch up to your crazy new tankiness. But wait, there's more. Get below to this rampart and climb across to this little secret. Not much here, but looted anyway. More importantly, we're now in the perfect position to get the highest damage weapon in the entire game, plus a supercharged permanent stat potion, and skip the annoying descent past all those harpies we ignored on the way up, all in one go. Face the broken rampart here, use the transform into Bloodfly scroll and jump up on the rampart. Aim for the statue on the far side of the broken bridge, then sprint forward to float down instead of falling. You're a star, not a rock. Descend and find a spot that lets you transform back. Loot the Crossbow of War, the highest damage weapon in the game, and a potion of Supremacy that permanently increases both your strength and dexterity by 4. Now you can use another transformation to float down, or rough it by jumping onto the pillar or the small ledges on the side and sliding down. This will hurt. You or your purse, your choice. I know what Mordrag would pick. That concludes our little adventure. I'm sure you found a few shiny new items you like. Now just wrap up any remaining quests and make a master save for future playthroughs before deciding on joining one of the camps. Which camp is your pick? Let me know in the comments. For this first melee run, I'm picking Old Camp. I like that heavy armor style. If this low spoiler guide helped you get something shiny and sweet as early as Chapter 1, please hit like and subscribe. Many more videos are in the pipeline. Check the current channel playlists.